Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Business of Business podcast, Two Daughters and Their Dad. I'm your host, Stacey J. Dempsey, and I have, once again, like always, thankfully, the one and only dad and one of the other daughters, Jennifer Faith. We are here, we are in it, we are rocking it, and we are now starting a new tradition with the West Virginia Wave. Hit it, Jack! Bam! Bam! If you're only listening to us right now, I encourage you to please go to YouTube and check out the West Virginia Wave. You will never be able to forget it. But welcome our listeners and our viewers. Thank you for being with us once again. Today, we wanted to talk about just some traditions that both Jennifer's business and Dad's business have in common. Traditions that they've created, how it gives back to the community, how it brings the staff together, it brings the clients together for just an overall good cause, and what has maybe how those traditions began, and now the things that you can now see have just grown from that tradition. Dad, why don't we start out with you today and tell us a little bit about, we have a Christmas time tradition here at Dempsey Weiss and Associates. So why don't you tell everyone how that originally started and kind of where it is today?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, I would like to take credit for starting it, but I can't. Actually, I think it was one of our people on our staff brought up about, hey, I think it started like sponsoring some kids off of they have those giving trees, grabbing some names, and then, and then it just kind of evolved into, the employees participating, giving some of their money, then we would match that and to try and come up with an amount, then to just rather than pick numbers or pick, things off of a tree, I would go out and, seek out different places who help us identify families that were really struggling during Christmas for whatever reason, job loss, or somebody was sick, and then they had young children, and then the goal was to provide for their Christmas so that they could have a nice Christmas, for gifts, even for Christmas dinner. And so we got our goal was to then be able to do that for two families, and so it's just something that has now just taken hold. And so we do it every Christmas, and and like you said, what's nice is it's not just the business writing a check saying, okay, here. I mean, it's everybody's giving. The employees are participating with some of their own resources, and we're matching, and and it just creates, again, that I think just that family atmosphere among the business and the people who are giving, realizing that we're doing something as a team to help others in the community. So it's just very meaningful, and we don't promote it. We don't like, oh, look at us.
Right.
It's not like we plaster it all over Facebook or social media. It's just really something we just want to do, kind of keep it under the radar a little bit. We don't, it's not about drawing attention to ourselves. It's just really about giving back in that particular area. So like I said, I think every business out there that can do something like that, because whether or not it even gets out there as a where people notice it or see it, is not the point. The point, I think, is by giving back to the community where you do business, in a meaningful way, whatever that may look like. It brings something to the business that just connects you further to the community, and connects your team. And so I think that spills over then just when we're having client conversations or customer service conversations. People feel more and more connected to our business because, we feel like when we do things like that, we're more community based than just profit, 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 make money type of situation. So I think there's a lot of hidden but valuable benefits to everybody. Obviously, the people receiving, whatever your cause is, and then those of us that are able to participate in it.
Yeah, it's definitely the time of year that everyone here in the office. It's like we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing, and just to clarify for our listeners, as our office grew, Jack and Dave realized that the staff were putting money together to buy them Christmas gifts. And so, once you get, more than a handful of people, I think Jack and Dave realized, like, wow, this is like we have what we need. There's so many other people that are in need during this time. And during that holiday season, I think it kind of triggered a couple of people to say, well, would you mind if we still want to bring this money together, but maybe we reach out and ask if there's any families in our direct community. Again, not blasting it on social media, just, kind of asking around if there's any families that are in need. And a couple of those families, were shared with us. And so then in turn, the money that the staff brought together, Jack and Dave said, well, we'll match whatever you guys put in. And so it was over a couple of holiday seasons that it was like, wow, we're really, in a really blessed place that everybody here and Jack and Dave, we have what we need. But this was just another way of still the staff, everybody coming together, everybody participating in a way, and feeling really good that there's someone right down the road that we pass by. We pass by this house thousands of times in a year, and you never know that it's a family that just has really hit a hard time, and we can give them a really nice holiday season. So it's been a tradition, like Jack shared, that we don't necessarily blast on social media, but I think even now with our clients and community, I think that many know that, hey, listen, if you guys are doing a family this year, like we don't even have to really reach out anymore. People know this is what we're going to do, and they contact someone in the office to organize and do all of that. So it's been a really great tradition for us here to see that it just does. And like I said, it's people can depend on that we're just going to do that and help out in any way we can. So Jen, how about it? Let me tell you something. Well, I know Jen's going to share about her current fundraiser, and baby, I remember when the first time you did this fundraiser, and oh my, how it has grown and changed. And so you go ahead and share with our listeners just the impact of that and how it came to be and all of that.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, many moons ago, I was, before I even opened this one, I was in a networking group and, learned that children in the domestic violence safe house in our community go back to school carrying a trash bag. And so I just remember, I think once I heard that, we did a cut-a-thon and raised some money. And so, listen, when it has to do with kids, you're going to get me every time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so then we launched the book bag fundraiser, and, 11th year, it's going on right now. It's our 11th year doing it. And yeah, I've done things all different ways over the years. We obviously still connected with the domestic violence shelter, still support them. And, I've been invited over just to see their operations over there. And So, we do things a little bit differently though. Obviously, we ask for our clients, our families, our friends to donate book bags and school supplies. Obviously, I go out and buy up a whole bunch of stuff too. And then we have a deadline of like when we're collecting things. And then, we invite leaders from the shelter over to pick some things up, and anything kind of left over we give to our school district right here where our salon lives. And I mean, really, it's just a more than anything, it's just a privilege for me to just, number one, be able to do it for 11 years, and just to see the impact that kind of leading this fundraiser, that it's done for the community. And it's probably one of the, it is definitely the thing that I am the most proud of with being in business. We've just been able to touch so many lives. And amazing, over the years, we've had people come directly to us and say, hey, we are struggling and we've fallen on hard times. And anybody that knows kids, right? It's like it's anywhere from $50 to $100 between book bags and lunch boxes and notebooks and all the things kids need to go back to school. And so we've been able to really just work with families in our community that are in need, that need that support. So it was just kind of this fundraiser for me has just come from like a genuine, authentic, we see a need within the community. It's something that touches home for me. Obviously, I couldn't imagine my kids going back to school holding a trash bag, or my nieces or nephews, right? So yeah, it's just been a huge blessing in my life and a blessing in my business, and amazing. I really don't start promoting, you know, the book bag fundraiser till August 1st. And what I think is amazing is that this year we were getting donations in July. Like our community, our clients, our family, they just assume, they know it's coming, or just people saying like, you're doing the book bag fundraiser again, right? Yep, of course we are. And so, I mean, people just can shop on Amazon and send it right to the salon. And we just try to make it as easy and convenient for people to support the cause as possible. And so, yeah, it's just been something that just has come supernatural. I remember, I think the year of COVID, um, I called dad and I'm like, wow, this year has just been so challenging. I don't know if I don't think we should do the book bag fundraiser this year. Um, and he was like, no, I think you should do it. And I'm so grateful that you encouraged me to do it. Of course, some years we've had over 100 book bags donated in a year. Some years we might have 50. So it changes year to year. We just had someone donate 24 book bags the other day. So, it's any amount, it doesn't matter. We always end up having a really great turnout, and it's just an amazing thing. And like I said, do we promote it? Yes, because we want people to get involved. People like to be involved. People like to help. But obviously it's just like one of those feel good things. As long as I can do it, I'm happy to do it. And like I said, it always hits home when it has to do with kids. So,
well, I think, Jen, one of the things that, and again, like we always say, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to get involved in these, into these organizations and volunteer my time because it's, it's a way to get business, right? And
yeah.
then they get in there and they realize, oh, I'm not really generating that much business. And then they bow out. And so, because I'll always tell entrepreneurs or say, listen, if you're going to get involved with an organization, get involved because you believe in their cause. Get involved because you're willing to do and show that, hey, I'm here for you, not for me.
Right.
Make it altruistic, because people will see right through you. If I'm just here to network and, show, hey, I'm involved in the community now, come do business with me. People see through that, and it's not really going to work. So I would just say to our listeners, kind of use that to say, whatever you're deciding to do in this way, make sure it's something that's important to you. Make sure it's something that you would do whether you were a business owner or not, if you could. If you were if you were able to, that you just believe in it, and you care about it, and let that be what drives you. Now, again, along the way, if people recognize it and, say, hey, listen, we really appreciate it. Hey, one of the reasons why I'm doing business with you is because how you give back. I mean, that's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but don't make that your goal. Make that kind of just the byproduct of, your cause, what you believe in. And I think that's really, and look at, and each business might be different, because again, we're all different, right? I mean, but I think in your case, what's nice is that, it's a cause you believe in. It's a cause, as you just described, but it's also in your business. The majority of the people coming through your doors are women. Big chunk of them are moms. And so, again, it just fits, kind of your business too. Again,
Yeah.
not that was, the reason you did it,
Right.
but I think that's something to say, listen, this is something I have, a passion for. And I think it's something that the people I do business with, if they're aware of it, it would fit because of who I do business with. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So again, just, and I mean, in cases too, I mean, we give, we have clients that, contact us, hey, will you sponsor my child in this, or will you, donate to this? And, and we typically always try to do something. Like you said, sometimes you can't do everything, but
Right.
we're always trying to do something to support, our clients and what their causes are too. That's not, I wouldn't put that in the category of advertising. It's just because sometimes it's just donating, for something for their children's, things they're doing. So all that is, I think, important if you can do it as a business owner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I love about both of these things is that it brings together the team, it brings together clients, it's, showing that in another area that we're dependable, that we show up, that it's just kind of like, this is kind of just who we are. Like you said, Dad, we would do this anyway, whether we were in business or not. We would probably be participating or organizing or, sharing on social media, this kind of cause anyway. So we encourage everyone that if there has been a pull on you to think that maybe there's something that your business can do as far as a fundraiser or giving back to your, community or participate in something that your clients are doing, to just go ahead and do it. And don't think that you have to, start out doing a book bag fundraiser and get 100 book bags, because nothing really starts out quite like that. But just the attitude of wanting to give back will certainly carry each and every one of you. And so we hope that you guys will be inspired to do what you can in your community through your business. So we hope that you guys we hope that this has been helpful to you, and we'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye-bye.